every year. You know, especially if you're a team at the bottom and you're looking to get the first win of your second of the season, you're looking to build up momentum.
A very, very warm welcome to you all joining us live on YouTube here today for the return of Conference North action at the Horsefall Stadium. Getting some background noise of the referee's whistle, alarming the players to be ready to make their way to the pitch. Avenue, it goes without saying, really need to kickstart their season here today, as they currently still find themselves rock bottom of the Conference North. The visitors here today have had a fairly good start to the season, going to today's game on the back of 4 straight results without a defeat, 2 draws and 2 wins, following on from their away trip at Scarborough last week.
This is a setup under Mark Bauer, who has been the manager of this club for
Avenue today finding themselves with one change to the lineup. The ever-reliant Mitch Lund, unfortunately missing out today due to injury. We do see, however, Thomas Angel, I'm being told it is pronounced rather than Angel, make his debut at left back. So for the home side today, we do have once again George Sykes-Kenworthy in goal, Lucas Dunstan at right back, Rhys Staunton taking up the more familiar position of centre back rather than left back, Jamie Spencer picking up in midfield alongside Sam Fielding and likely Harrison Hopper and Simon Richmond once more. We will be looking at Jacob Blythe once again taking the spot up front with Brad Doherty looking to get in and around him, finding his first goal on his second debut away at Southport last week, as Avenue once again unfortunately did go down 4-1 away at Southport. For the away side today, Chris Renshaw in goal, Connor Hampson expected to take up at left back with Posca and Devon Matthews at centre back, Connor DeMau looking to take up the position in midfield, Thomas Pears up front, Joshua Hancock, Will Hayhurst, ex-Doncaster, Craig Mann, ex of Wigan, ex-Premier League player, and Adam Barton alongside him in the midfield. For Curzon, they do find themselves just on the edge of the playoffs after a fairly indifferent season last season where they finished pretty much as mid-table as you can get in 13th, some 7 points ahead of the Avenue. Curzon did take 6 points from the Avenue last season, both home and away, a 3-2 reverse and a 2-1 at the home ground for Curzon Ashton. For Avenue today, it is essential that they do find some early success. Confidence probably, well, definitely very brittle, coming on the back of 6 straight defeats.
Where we are, if you had heard perhaps the whistle of...
It will be good to see Avenue finding a little bit more balance at left back with the arrival of Thomas Angel from Sheffield United to follow on from another loan that we had from Sheffield United earlier on in the season in the same position. Certainly for Rhys Staunton, since signing from neighbours Bradford, it has been difficult to find the balance out on that side to match the more natural position of Lucas Dunstan on the right. Certainly while Avenue have looked to transfer their attack to the other side, it's been difficult to find their moments of success on the left, with Staunton not really natural in carrying the ball forward.
Hopefully we win that 3 wins out of 3. I'm sure we will.
Well, it's 2 wins out of 2.
Both teams are now out, ready, waiting for the referee to call them essentially to take up the kick-off. The away side here today in a very nice, fetching what looks a little bit like a pink and black number. Interesting away kick for the away side. Avenue look to be starting to kick right from right to left.
Performance after performance after performance, and we've seen it
having meeting the captain Craig Mann, who just seems to have been around forever, the experienced man in the team for Ashton here today.
Round the FA Cup qualifier, the 3rd round replay, even the 3rd round actual qualifier. There have been countless occasions when Curzon Ashton last year
we are just being prepared to take a minute's silence for the late Frank Thornton, so we will go quiet momentarily while we take a moment just to pay our respects.
This minute silence in respect.
Moment silence will be also for Tom Banks. Nice moment there.
Minute silence there, just observed for a couple of.
It absolutely goes without saying today that this is a huge day for Avenue. So far this season, we are yet to get off the board for points at home here at the Horsehall Stadium. A solitary 3 points taken away from home through 3 draws. It's essential that Avenue don't get cut adrift at the bottom. Already a small gap appearing. So the last thing for us to say before we kick off here today is, come on, the Avenue. Get us underway. It will be Jamie Spencer who gives it back to Fielding, who goes long in towards Blythe. And Blythe is up early to win the first flick on, and it's cleared quickly away by Posca. The referee just bringing play to a slow halt here quickly for a free kick. Some halfway inside the Curzon Ashton half. And it's going to be whipped in by Reece Staunton. Straight into the box. Staunton will deliver left-footed. It's curled in well in towards keeper to put him under pressure. Nobody challenges. It's headed way well by Adam Barton, the ex-Farsley Celtic man. It's played in well again by Hopper. It's flicked away and it is eventually cleared away by Craig Mann. It breaks well for the new man, Angel. Angel whips it in towards the back post and it is played in, and unfortunately it doesn't just break for Fielding. It was Haven who played it back across the 6-yard box. Unfortunately for Avenue, it didn't quite break for his central defensive partner today in Sam Fielding. Played into the channel here, and it will be Thomas Pearce who picks it up. He gets away from Haven. Pearce takes it into the corner for Ashton. Plays it back down the line. Looking for an delivery here into Josh Hancock. It's played down into the channel again to Pearce. Pearce does give it out wide to Hampton. Hampton dinks it in. It's flicked in nicely to Pearce. Pearce slips as his shoes. Breaking well for Hancock and cleared away well by Avenue in towards halfway. Kept live now by Ashton. And here is Posca into Hampson, and Hampson plays a quick one down the line and flicks away once more. Put under a little bit of pressure here by his teammates. This is the number 1 for Renshaw, and he's been left with no option but to clear it long straight to Sykes Kenworthy.
I think it's a bit like Mahan as well, because obviously
Staunton looks to go short and pick up the ball from the Avenue number 1. Instantly looks to take it back. Avenue quite often do look to go more direct in towards Blythe, and it will be once more Staunton in towards the big man up front, and he does look to bring it down. It's won well by Blythe. It's flicked away, and Dunstan will pick up possession on halfway. Fielding, they'll take it up just inside the avenue half into Blythe. Blythe flicks round the corner, but it will get away from Hopper, who has taken up the position at right midfield to start the game. Often Hopper is the one out of the more naturally gifted of the centre midfielders to take up the position on the right of the midfield. It looks like that will be the case once again. However, he has taken up a more central position before the goal kick from Chris Renshaw for Curzon Ashton. It looks as if more naturally out of possession, Avenue will be setting up with 5 at the back, and Fielding will slot in alongside Haven and Staunton. It's broken nicely here for Curzon Ashton. It comes out wide to Craig Mann. Mann takes a touch and looks to carry it into the Avenue half. It's played inside to Hancock, and it's broken and off the Curzon Ashton man and out for an Avenue goal kick.
And going to be a goal kick yet again. They're just looking to
You're gonna have a
really
hit by him
play
today.
around to the final 3G surface this afternoon. So the ball a little bit differently.
Fortunately, we do have a moment of concern here for Avenue as Brad Doherty is just down, holding his hamstring. It's not often an injury you can run off, and this would be absolutely devastating for Avenue on his return. He has been the life spark since returning for Avenue from Alfreton on a free transfer, or a nominal fee as it was reported after leaving at the end of last season.
Certainly got the memo, as it looks like Bradford Park Avenue might be forced into a early change.
Eddie Church is just getting himself warmed up on the sidelines.
Right in the centre circle. It looks like it's, from what he's favouring, what the physios are looking at and stretching out, it looks like it's a hamstring. It's gone for
Just a moment of quiet here as we hope that Brad will be able to continue. Just sometimes when things are going against you and you're down towards the bottom, that's the way that things go. Bounces go in, as it was the last time we were at home here. The own goal that Sam Fielding ended up conceding for the Avenue. We now have probably our best spark going forward. Brad Doherty down through an injury, and if it's hamstring, it will be weeks rather than days, maybe even months, and it will be a change. The management team, Danny Bosch and Mark Bauer, not taking no risk with Doherty. Maybe it's something that was being carried into the game and it was hopefully could get through. It will be an opportunity, however, for Eddie Church, who impressed extremely well in pre-season, has struggled a little bit more in live league action after his move from Brighouse Town in the summer. Will be back underway now with George Sykes-Kenworth, and he will go long in towards Blythe. Blythe looks to get up against Adam Barton. Barton ends up flicking it on. Angel and Blythe kind of in challenge with each other, end up allowing it to be break well for Curzon, and Curzon are able to clear up long from Renshaw, the keeper, once again. It breaks well for Ashton once more off Sam Field and out for a throw in some halfway inside the Avenue half. Curzon Ashton certainly coming into this game full of confidence. 4 games without defeat, including 2 impressive wins. They find themselves just on the edge of the playoffs, which, going off last season, and for the size of Curzon Ashton, very similar in terms of budgets to the Avenue. It's an extremely impressive start to the season. They would usually be looking at keeping themselves away from the relegation zones more than the promotion spots. Matthews goes all the way back to his keeper, Renshaw, for Curzon. It's given to Mann. Mann goes down the line into the channel, but it's broken well for Fielding. Barton wins once more for Curzon, and Staunton allows the ball to drift out for an Avenue throw-in just inside the Avenue half. It does look as if Staunton is playing more as the left-back come left centre-back, and the new signing Angel is picking up the spot of the left wing spot, or more left midfield spot. Certainly looking more of an attacking threat down that side than a defensive reinforcement. Dunstan's taking up the ball well here in the Curzon Ashton half. He goes out wide to Spencer. It's actually Church, sorry. Church with his back to goal, just keeping the body in front of man and ball, and it goes back to a Dunstan. A Dunstan gives it back to Fielding, and Fielding's left with no option but to give it back to Sykes-Kenworthy. Sykes-Kenworthy gives it out to Haven, and Haven into Fielding once more. Fielding will look to go into the channel. It's headed away well by Posca. Dunstan will pick up possession once more, and Fielding will lump it high in towards Church once more. It's dealt with well by Matthews for Curzon. Unfortunately for Church, he just can't get it under control, and it does go out for a throw-in for the away team.
In the National League North, we really appreciate
Avenue will just be looking for some sort of confidence, just anything to kind of go in, even if it is against the run of play for the away side. After some of the more recent results, it's imperative that confidence is not hit any further in the early stages of this game. Home form is often what will save a struggling team from relegation, and so far Avenue have the polar opposite of any sort of home form. Once more now, Curzon Ashton find themselves on the attack. It's down into the channel, into Piers. Piers looks to cut inside and give it back down into the channel. It should run out of play, and it does, for an Avenue goal kick. Piers trying to find it into the support from Joshua Hancock. Thankfully for Avenue, nothing given on this occasion. Curzon Ashton team filled with non-league experience. Adam Barton, ex-Farsley Celtic, knows the league extremely well in the midfield, often lined up in the defence for Avenue's near neighbours. From Sykes Kenworthy here, unfortunately straight out for Curzon Ashton, throwing down the right-hand side, which is taken quickly by Mann into Posca and back to the Curzon number 1. Craig Mann lining up in the championships some 15 years ago, still going in the Conference North, captaining the away side here today. Ball has just bounced into the crowd, allowing a set of youth to fight over who gets it and who gets to give it back to the away side.
Harris could be Roy Galap in disguise. We just don't know.
There was a clear winner, and it was the tallest of the group, and we do look to get back underway now with the Curzon Ashton throwing, which does go down the channel. It's cleared away well by a Dunstan. It's kept in play, and Blythe looks to take a first touch, but it's broken nicely for Curzon into Mann. Mann goes back down the line into Hall. Mann looks to switch play from right to left. It's gone over the head of Hampson, and Hampson does get there. Plays a quick 1-2 down the left hand side, inside to Demau. Demau takes it back. Curzon just getting a foot on the ball now and starting to ping the ball about. They will know that Avenue are struggling for confidence, along with a little bit of quality from time to time. However, shown last season that a lot of these players are capable of getting points and getting wins in the Conference North. It's certainly something that's not beyond this team. Most of this team, with the exception of Jamie Spencer, Jacob Blythe, really was here last season, and obviously the debutant today making his Avenue debut in Thomas Angel. Big day for a young man coming from the Sheffield United under-18s, where usually games will be played in front of no spectators in training grounds. The pace and the power often way more than ever experienced when you're coming from the levels of under-18 football. Currently not much action to talk home about. Some 10 minutes into the game after the minute silence and the injury to Brad Doherty. Ashton have probably had the better of the play, but it's been unthreatening possession more than anything else. Angel keeps the ball in play, it goes down the line and straight through to the Curzon Ashton number 1. Curzon Ashton keeping some nice possession, just looking to build themselves into the game, but nothing too threatening for Avenue to have to deal with so far. Hancock managed to spray the play wide. Referee decides not to give advantage and does bring it back for A Curzon Ashton free kick some 30 yards out on the left-hand side of the Avenue box.
Thomas Angel, who's coming from Sheffield United.
Small contact from Gianluca
Haven.
Haven.
Or do you reckon he's been thrown in at the deep end to see how well he does against this sort of style of football? Because obviously at Sheffield United, he's not going to.
It will be Joshua Hancock. It looks as if he is sizing up the free kick along with Will Hayhurst, the ex-Doncaster winger.
I presume that he has, if the loan signing has only been announced yesterday.
Hancock will strike, right-footed, goes right the way through, and no threat really to Sykes Kenworthy's goal as they let the ball drift out of play.
Maybe on Thursday or Wednesday night. I'm not quite sure what the training schedule is.
As often is the case in the National League and the Conference North and South, players are brought in as emergency loans quite late on in the week to then play or be registered in time to play at the weekend. The Sheffield United man here today will quite possibly have been in the club before the weekend, so given an opportunity to get to know his teammates. Back underway now, bouncing in between both teams in the midfield. Haven does get there first. Spencer continues the flick on, and it will be Richmond that gets there first, and it breaks for the lone man Angel, who does shank the ball out of play for a Curzon Ashton throw-in. Still fine the first few moments of his Avenue debut. He has struggled to get his foot on the ball, looking a little bit nervous. Craig Mann once more switching the ball from right to left with absolute minimal effort. Spencer all over the shirt of the Curzon Ashton number 10, Joshua Hancock. Crossed him well here, and it goes all the way across. It was missed by Reece Staunton and does go all the way across for an Avenue throw-in, I believe, on this near side. In the spot, as some of you may know, in the commentary spot at the Horsfall Stadium, there is a couple of areas of blank spots where you can't see the action, unfortunately, so you have to just go on instinct. Back underway, and unfortunately it has broken for Ashton, and it does break out wide now to Connor Hampson for the away side. He puts his foot on the ball and plays it back inside to Hayhurst, and thankfully for Avenue, Hampson just wanted a little bit too much pitch, and it did go out for a throw-in before the pass was played to Hayhurst, and it'll be an Avenue that gets back underway with the throw-in halfway inside the Avenue half on the far side.
In the Beast National League North fixture, it's still Bradford Park Avenue nil, Curzon Ashton nils. The goals are flying in thick and fast. You can see there in the chat from the National League North.
Back underway with a throw-in from Fielding, and it's headed out of play by Spencer. Spencer certainly has been probably the signing of the summer so far. Has played extremely well throughout his time at Avenue so far. He has been one of the positives after signing from neighbours Farsley. It's won well by Hopper, and unfortunately for Avenue, the referee does blow for a foul against the Curzon number 6, Connor DeMau, just inside the Ashton half. It'll be Man who gets us back underway with a free kick just inside the Curzon half. Looks to play it into the channel. It's flicked in well by Hancock and flicked round the corner once more by Hayhurst. It's Posca who picks it up now for Curzon and gives it to Mann once more. Mann being the outlet for the away side so far. His passing range is certainly something that can be of danger for the home side. Played back into Matthews. Matthews under pressure from Blythe, and he just manages to get it away to Posca, and Posca gives it into Mann. Mann will go right-footed once more, will switch to the left. Just looking to tire the home side. It is something, again, that sides have looked to capitalise on. It's the fact that Avenue do only train part-time, 2 times a week, in between games. If there's more than one game a week, often sometimes only one training session a week, and it can be difficult for cohesion and fitness. Barton picks up possession for Curzon in the midfield once more and gives it into Hampson, who gives it down the line, and it's unfortunately out of play for the away side.
more out towards that far side of the ground.
Been a respectable start for the home side, given the lack of confidence. They have set themselves up well. It was, again, part of the Avenue play that held such good reward last season was defensive structure and keeping out the goals. Avenue weren't a team that were going to score many last season. However, they didn't concede many either, and that is what ultimately kept them pretty comfortable away from the relegation spots last season. Ball bounces about in the midfield, and it does eventually break for Ryan Hall for Curzon Ashton. Man picks up the ball halfway inside his own half, looks up for a pass, dummies a couple of times and gives it into Hall, and Hall back into Man. Man gets away well, and it's flicked away by Angle, and it does break now for Hall, and Staunton manages to get there first. It's a foul given against Hall for what looked like very minimal contact. Mark Bauer giving instructions to Angle on this left side as he just looks to struggle to get into the game so far. To keep you updated on the debut of the Sheffield United man, be desperate to make an impression on his debut.
Do you think that's the pitch that's doing that?
It has been. It really has been. I wouldn't say any teams had a proper grip on the game. I wouldn't say any team.
We'll get back underway with
on top. Has
free kick taken by Joseph Skinworthy just outside of his
scrappy. I think the ball
box on this near side. It's going to go long in towards Blythe. It should stay in play.
I don't think they could even.
Doesn't, unfortunately, out for a Curzon throw.
Curzon have really got to get on board with this game and starting off by like we know they can. But like you said, it could be the pitch. You know.
I would say so far that the game has suited the home side more than it has the away side. Curzon known to play quite nice football considering the level. Blythe plays it into the channel. It's a good ball to the on-rushing Angle. Angel gets there and it is played away, defended well by Posca. First opportunity for the lone man to get into the channel down that side and look to deliver a cross. No height on the cross, it was quite flat and low, but it was delivered with pace and out by Posca for a throw-in. Church looked to go and take the throw-in and slips. And it does break for Curzon. Dealt with well by Damau, and Damau checks and dummies and plays it out to the left-hand side where Hampson picks up possession. Hampson carries the ball under no pressure whatsoever. He's carried it some 50 yards here into Hayhurst. Hayhurst drags it in, plays it into Piers. Piers inside the Avenue box, goes back to Hayhurst. Still onside, Hayhurst crosses and it comes off of a Dunstan and out for a corner. First of the game on the far side. Disappointing to see no real pressure on the ball where Dunstan was clearly out of position and nobody looked to fill up the spot vacated by him, should I say, on the right hand side. Ball will be delivered right footed now by Damau. Damau goes short into Hayhurst. Hayhurst crosses first time left footed and it is flicked in towards the goal, but it is a free kick given. Thanks Kenworthy won't be able to get on with this quickly, unfortunately. He's not aware that there was a free kick given. Look to get Angel out quickly. Will be a free kick taken by Thanks Kenworthy. Ex-Bradford City man in his second season at the Horsefall. It's Staunton who'll chip in towards Church and it breaks now for Richmond. Richmond gets the ball under possession, but actually it bounces twice and breaks for Curzon. Damau wins possession back for the away side. On return from half-time today, we will run through the other scores in the Conference North today. We'll look to get back underway just a little bit earlier than normal. If you would like to set that in your clock to return just a couple of minutes early so we can run through the scores. Avenue looking to close that 4-point gap just to the next team, never mind getting out of the relegation zone today. So far, some 24 minutes into the half, it is still the Avenue 0, Curzon Ashton 0. No real chances to talk about at either end. Thanks Kenworthy gets us back underway, and once more the accuracy of the kick is straight out for a Curzon throw-in. Barton gets us back underway. the lofted ball up front towards Piers, flicks off having an out for a throw-in for the away side. Man will get us back underway, plays it into Piers. Piers goes back to Man first time, and Man will look for the switch once more in towards Hampson. Hampson into Demau, and Demau back to Hampson again. Avenue getting deeper and deeper as it currently stands. It's a poor ball forward by Hampson, and it'll go all the way through for an Avenue goal kick.
Or saw something in there. It's rolled all the way out for a goal kick, but
Avenue doing well at keeping Curzon Ashton at arm's length, but so far not looking like any real threat going the other way. Again, the loss of Brad Doherty is huge for the threat that Avenue can offer going the other way. Eddie Church and Jacob Blythe have both shown fleeting moments of success in the attack for Avenue. However, they've both probably, I would imagine, be disappointed with the starts to the season, as are the rest of the boys. Blythe now does get the ball down, and Hopper looks to play it into the channel for Church. Church is going to get there first. It does well, does Church, and surely that's a foul. Nothing given by the referee. Church managed to get his body in front of man and ball, and it goes down under pressure from Matthews, certainly claiming a penalty. Nothing given. Still Avenue 0, Curzon 0, but the first big moment of the half. Once more, Mark Bauer will feel like he's getting nothing from the officials. I know he's had his arguments against the men in the middle this season, certainly going back to Scarborough away earlier on in the season, when really Avenue should have taken their first win of the season, leading 2-0 going into the last 5 minutes of the game. Fielding gets there first ahead of the 1-2 and gives it into Blythe, and Blythe looks to set Church on his way. Church looks like he's got the beating of Matthews, certainly for pace into that channel. Church with his back to goal goes back into Spencer. Spencer takes a touch and gives it in towards Hopper, but it bounces away and Curzon are able to get the ball away. Haycock gets there first, and it's now broken well for Curzon Ashton on the right hand side with Hall. Hall looks to jink past his man. Staunton stands him up well and gives it back into Man, just played behind him, so it just kills the speed of the attack momentarily. Man looks to cut inside onto his left foot. Man goes all the way across to Hampson on the left hand side. Hampson gets his head up, drills the ball across. Nothing given and straight out for a goal kick for Avenue. Was more in hope than expectation on that delivery. Going back to the moment of the potential penalty, though, Church did extremely well to harry and harass the defender, got his body in front of man and ball, and it looked to me as if Matthews probably took a little bit too much of his man and brought his man down, but referee deciding nothing given. Potential bias making me feel like that was a penalty, a little bit more than it was, but Eddie Church and Hopper still talking to the referee about the decision. The players clearly feel a little aggrieved with the moment. However, we do move on. And once more, Sykes Kenworthy goes in towards Blythe, and Blythe wins it well. Comes back off the Curzon Ashton man, and Staunton able to lump the ball forward in towards Church, and it will go all the way through to the keeper. Church arguing once more with the referee that Matthews has got a little bit too much player. Blythe up against Posca. It's taken down well by Richmond, and Richmond gives it into Staunton. Staunton gets his head up, gives it in towards Church and Blythe, and it breaks now for Richmond, and Demau managed to get there first. Dunstan does step in well and claim the ball for Avenue. He's driving towards the edge of the box. Dunstan strikes, and it comes back off of Hampson and out for a throw-in for Avenue. Avenue just starting to find moments of success as they build into this game, looking to find moments to take the lead here. Come on, the Avenue. Dunstan gets the throw-in and takes it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and he does go out for a corner for the home side. Some big targets for Avenue to now send forward. Hopefully a good delivery. It'll be Staunton by the looks of it, who goes across to take the corner, which surprises me given the height on the centre-back. Avenue making a habit of centre-backs taking corners, Staunton and fielding. Staunton, it will be left-footed from the far side near the clubhouse. Staunton delivers left-footed. It's a good delivery, and it's punched away well by Renshaw. And it's broken now for Spencer. Spencer left-footed and strikes! And it's just outside the far post for Avenue. It did take a deflection off of the Curzon Ashton defender rushing out to Spencer. And it got just brushed against the side netting and out for another corner on the right-hand side, which will be taken by Sam Fielding. Spencer, the top scorer for Avenue this season, unbelievably. Not one of the strikers, given that we're some way into the season. You won't expect a defensive midfielder to really be the top goal scorer. Ball broken now well for Avenue, and it's Fielding, and it flicks off the defender and out for another corner. Come on, the Avenue. They need to find a moment here to take the lead while they're in the ascendancy, while they have control of the game. Curzon Ashton under pressure as it stands. There'll be another corner taken by Fielding on the near side. It'll be Sam Fielding once more, right-footed. Looking to aim in towards the 6-yard box. Always looking to whip the balls in towards the 6-yard box. Some pushing and pulling going on in the middle as the referee looks to get a bit of control. It will be Fielding deliver. It's deep and it goes in towards the back post and it breaks for Spencer! And it's still loose and he's in! It's 1-2 there. Oh, the referee has blown for a free kick. Unbelievable. The Avenue players once more surrounding the referee to complain. Mark Bauer can't believe it on the touchline. We were all up in joy to think that Avenue had managed to get the lead. I think it was Eddie Church with the last touch to put it into the goal. It was very crowded, a lot of bodies. So it's difficult to see exactly what happened and exactly what the referee saw to bring play back. Goalkeepers do often receive some luxury treatment, especially when there's no VAR involved, and I believe it is probably the keeper that received either a push or something on him that the referee didn't like. Encouraging moments for the home side though, as Avenue looked to have taken the lead, and that did come after a sustained period of pressure and good play, it has to be said, from the home side, making the most of the set pieces, making the most of putting the opposition defenders under pressure from the deliveries. Some good deliveries from Sam Fielding and Rhys Staunton. After the commentator was questioning who was taking the set pieces in the centre backs, the deliveries was, to be fair, exceptional. Whipped him with pace towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Obviously something that has been practiced. Avenue will now get us back underway. It's Sykes Kenworthy after a bit of back and forward in the play, but Avenue will be happy with the last 5 minutes or so. Jacob Blythe taking the ball down well, gives it into a Dunstan. Dunstan plays it in towards Church and it's bounced away into Posca. And that will be a foul against the left winger. Simon Richmond not happy with the giving of the free kick, but I don't think he can really complain with that one. Ashton getting us back underway now. They'll be looking to get a bit of a foot on the ball and get a bit of more control in this game. Ball comes back off pace here. He claims a throw-in, but it is given to Avenue.
Boston United have got themselves a go back for the half an hour mark. It's 4-1 now in that game in the national.
Spencer under no way looking to get us back underway quickly. Mark Bauer, he's just receiving a moment of what looks like a bit of a telling off, it has to be said, from the referee. Mark Bauer has got himself in trouble on a number of occasions this season with the official.
Let our boys do our jobs respectively.
Mark Bauer looks to question the goal, or the goal that wasn't given one more time by the looks of it, but the referee is done with listening and gets us back underway with a Rhys Staunton throwing down the line in towards Blythe. It's headed away well by Mann. Staunton gets underneath it and plays it back into Church. Church just can't break for him, and it's cleared well by Hampson. Haven has to deal with it first time. Barton now picks up possession for Curzon Ashton into Hall. Hall on his right foot looks to deliver. He's defended well by Staunton. He's played it in, and it's Piers who gets there first and flicks it just past the near post. Thankfully for Avenue, he was just ahead of the near post, making it extremely difficult for him to get it back in towards Sykes Kenworthy's goal. Best moment of the game for the away side.
Coming out from the travelling support that's over there on the far side of the ground. Got flags. It's a really good little display there of the flags.
Sykes Kenworthy will get us back underway with a goal kick.
Just strung up on some.
34 minutes in here to the first half. Still Avenue 1, Avenue 0, sorry. Curzon Ashton 0. My brain telling me that that goal that should have stood didn't stand. Wishful thinking, perhaps.
Both look quite dangerous. The latter, even more so since he's come on, Eddie Church. This is only his ninth appearance, and he came on off the bench.
Broken through here too. Curzon Ashton number 1, Chris Renshaw, who gets back underway left-footed with a goal, with a kick direct from his hand, but it goes all the way through to Sykes Kenworthy. Bit of keeper tennis.
Creating us their own little football sponsor readout. How convenient.
Thornton now will pick up possession from Sykes Kenworthy and chip in towards Blythe. Blythe does well, takes it down. It's cleared well by Demau. Demau will put it into an area where Thornton has to clear, and it's shanked a little bit by the Avenue number 3, and it breaks for Hall. Hall goes back to Mann. Mann takes a touch left foot, it goes inside, and it's defended well by Thornton. Took up a good position well, and now looks to go into the channel towards Blythe once more. And it's dealt with well by Posca. Posca into Barton, and under pressure by Hopper. It's now broken well for Blythe. Blythe on the left hand side looks to clip it in towards the 6-yard box. It's defended well by Matthews. Dunstan does well to get there first and manages to get away from his man, and referee does give a free kick as a consequence of the little tug gave the possession back to Ashton, and the referee happy to give Avenue a free kick some halfway inside the Curzon half. Fielding gets us underway quickly and gives it to Staunton. Curzon not really set up for this, and Reece Staunton takes it all the way, and it's delivered in. It was delivered in deep, and unfortunately for Staunton on this occasion, it was a poor delivery and goes all the way out for a Curzon Ashton goal kick. I certainly think that out of the two managers, it'll be the home side's manager that is happier with the start of this half as we do get towards half time. It's been the home side that have instilled their way of playing on the game more than the away side, and the best of the chances have fallen for the home side. Certainly for the last 15 minutes, the away side really have had very little joy in possession other than the one half chance which fell to Piers. Shanked long here, and Church is going to get there once more. Church looks to take it first time, and it is defended well once more by Devon Matthews, and out for another Avenue corner. The home side still looking to try and find this goal to take us into the lead before half time. Avenue's confidence certainly looks to be growing on the back of the 6 straight defeats, including the embarrassment away at Ashington in the FA Cup. He'll be fielding once more to take the corner for the home side. Right-footed from the near side, he delivers well in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, cleared from the front post. Cleared well by Hall, and it's Hancock who manages to keep possession for the away side, and it's cleared now by Hayhurst into the channel to Piers. Piers with a fantastic first touch. Brings it down and takes it away from a Dunstan. It looks to be cut inside, but it's fielding to deal with it well, and it's Hopper who looks to bring the possession away for Avenue, and he does well to keep hold of possession, giving it into Haven, and Haven goes into the channel, into Blythe. Blythe able to take it down first time. Well done by the target man. Into the channel, and here's Church. Church right-footed! And it's a good save by Renshaw. The assistant does have the flag up on the far side. It did look like it could have been a yard or so offside, but it was good movement by Eddie Church. Good work, target man work by Jacob Blythe. He's been under a little bit of criticism this season, has Jacob Blythe, that he hasn't done enough of the dirty target man work for Avenue. Certainly not today. He has done some fantastic work in and along the back line of Curzon Ashton to bring possession down, bring the play down, keep possession for Avenue, and allow the team to move up the pitch. Fielding now flicks the ball away from the Curzon Ashton free kick. Bit of head tennis between the two teams. Clip on Simon Richmond, allowing a free kick for the home side. Bit of a break in play once more.
Had a bit of an argument. Foot was pretty high as Telford.
We'll just take a moment to all of you on live on YouTube, just to take a momentary pause for our drink.
38th minute. Thank you again very much, Reese Owen. And if you are using football, the Midland Football Scores app that is available on download free.
And we are back. Like Kenworthy ready to get us back underway. He goes long, right to left, in towards Blythe. Blythe gets there again. Fantastic work by the number 9. It's cleared quickly, and Haven is under pressure here to deal with this. He flicks it away, and Thornton able to take it down on his chest and look to clear. Will it go out for a corner or a throw-in on the near side? Can't quite see from this angle. I think the Avenue man did well and actually managed to play it back off of Hall.
Corner flag preventing Staunton from getting any further, a bit throwing for the home side.
Staunton down the line, Blythe with the flick on once more. Church gets there after him. Church able to turn away, not quite, can't turn away from Man. Avenue straight on his heel. Staunton clears after Man was able to clear it forward. Blythe looks to get there first, can't just bring it down, and it is cleared away well by Matthews. Haven underneath the header once more in towards Church. Richmond can't get there first, and he just snap at the heels of Hayhurst, and the referee left with no option but to give another free kick. It's played quickly by Damau in towards Hall. It's dealt with well by Angel.
Hall will continue with the ball. Only momentarily though, full ball has gone out
for a throw-in for Avenue. Has to be said, I can't quite decide on whether it is Angel or Angel, and you may find me calling him both within the same live commentary until we find out exactly what it is. I'm going to go with Angel, but it is double L. Who knows? Flicked on well here by Church into Blythe, and Church once more out. Played well by Mann. Into Hall. Staunton underneath the clearance. It's flicked, and surely Spencer's push. He did go down a bit easy, however. Pierce plays it into the channel, and here's Hancock. Hancock out wide to Hall. Hall looks to pit it in, and it's taken well by Sykes Kenworthy. Sykes Kenworthy looking to get a throw out quickly. Hopper on the counter here. A great throw by Sykes Kenworthy. Hopper, not really with the pace to get away from Hampson, but he has a bit of trickery. He does get his hands on him, does Hampson, and Hopper wins a fantastic free kick. Some 2 or 3 yards outside of the Curzon Ashton box on the far right-hand side, near the home support. Very vocal on that side. Matt Bauer will be absolutely delighted with the work there from Harrison Hopper.
In this game at the moment for Bradford Park Avenue. Win the stoppages.
Harrison Hopper also is one of the few that come out with a little bit of credit from the start of the season. He certainly has equipped himself well on the right of the midfield, a position that is not really natural in. He doesn't really have the pace for it. He's more dynamic and effective in the middle, but he has equipped himself well this season. It will be delivered this, I believe, by Fielding, but Fielding and Staunton both over the free kick for Avenue. Again, both huge targets, both over the free kick, which is pretty crazy, but the deliveries have been good, so we'll give them another opportunity. Fielding with his hand up. It won't be Fielding, it will be Staunton. Staunton delivers, it's flat, and it's broken to the edge of the box where Spencer and Hopper kind of get in each other's way, and it has now broken for Curzon. It's dealt with well by Angel. Angel flicks away into Church. Church gets underneath the header. It's broken now for Hopper once more, and Richmond buzzing around both of them. Unfortunately, it does break now for Hayhurst, for Curzon Ashton. Hayhurst into Hancock, back to Hayhurst, flicked into Piers, and it needs to be dealt with here by Avenue, but both getting in each other's way. Eventually, Dunstan manages to get the ball away, shank it out for a throw-in. That looked like something of nothing, and all of a sudden, Curzon Ashton were in, and Avenue were under a lot of pressure. Thankfully, no chance came of it, but it certainly looked momentarily as if it would break for the away side. We are in the last few moments of the first half. This would be really disappointing if Avenue can't keep this at least level here. Spencer flicks it away. back in towards the box and it's cleared away well by Angel. Man now picks up possession halfway inside the Avenue half, gives it into Hall. Hall, right-footed, looks to deliver. He's up against Angel, gives it back to Man. Man on his left foot, cuts back onto his right foot. Into Demau. Demau for Curzon Ashton, into Hall. Back to Man, and Man will now, no one's delivery, he'll fake it and cut it inside. Left-footed Man, left-footed! And it right into the top corner. What a strike from Craig Man.
Oh my word!
The experienced man picking out the top corner on his weak foot from 25 yards out into the back of Sykes Kenworthy's goal. Nothing the Avenue number 1 can do. And once more, just as I was saying moments ago, Avenue find themselves behind right at the end of the first half. The disappointment all over the faces of the Avenue players. There's nothing that you can do about a chance like that. However, the time was given to the today fullback ex-midfielder to cut inside on his left foot and pick a strike out. It was a fantastic effort, fantastic strike. Hugely against the run of play.
It comes out the man. It's a very good fake shot.
And once more, the disappointment is all over the Avenue. Duguay's back underway here and straight back into possession of Curzon Ashton. I'll be hopeful that Avenue can at least get in at half-time and just look to rebuild here in front of the home crowd.
And we just talked about. You just said
once more though, now the thoughts, the moments, the disappointment of the 4 straight home defeats to start this season will be all over the players at half-time. Hopefully they can pick it up. Man, the ball has broken for Man, and it does strike it, and thankfully for Avenue it's blocked by Hopper and it bobbles through to Sykes Kenworthy.
That was in the central area there, but
Avenue just need to get a foot on the ball now and probably see through to half-time. Try and shake off the disappointment. They have been the more deserving of the 2 teams to take the lead here today. But as is the way in football, when you are down at the bottom, that is sometimes the way things go. It was a fantastic strike from Craig Mann.
Away from
Fielding now picks up possession for Avenue and looks to switch in towards Blythe. It's met well by Posca. Breaks now for Staunton, halfway inside the Avenue half. Looks to go long once more in towards Blythe, who has had his way with the defenders so far. At the back, Angle just looks to switch, but switching to nowhere, and it breaks well for Hayhurst. Hayhurst comes forward for the away side. It's dealt with well by Fielding, and it will now fall for Angel, who gives it into Hopper. Hopper gets his head up. He's looking for options, given no choice but to go back to Spencer. Spencer into Fielding, and Spencer looks to take it back off his centre defensive partner. Dunstan into Fielding. Fielding looks to switch play into Staunton. Staunton gets his head up. Got very little option in front of him. Does go in towards Blythe, but it was kind of forced, and Posca will get there first. It's cleared well by Craig Mann.
And Pierce goes in very heavily with an aerial duel with the captain Heather, and it's going to be a throw-in to Curzon Ashton as the
throwing it halfway inside the Avenue half to Curzon Ashton. 2 added minutes for the end of this first half. Announced by the 4th official. Craig Mann running the game on this right hand side here. Scooted away from 3 players and into the box. And Piers did manage to get a strike away. Scuffed on his left foot. Hayhurst and Hancock, both fuming with the number 9 as they didn't square it back. Thankfully, he didn't strike it cleanly, and it did go through to Sykes Kenworthy without any real threat. Staunton right at the end of this first half in towards Blythe. Blythe misses a flick, and it does break for Curzon Ashton into Hancock. Hancock chips it forward, and it will go all the way through to Sykes Kenworthy once more. At the end of the first half here, we're not quite there just yet, but it is still Avenue 0, Curzon Ashton 1. A familiar spot for the home side so far this season, unfortunately, but it has been against the run of play and it has to be said it has been undeserved for Curzon Ashton, who have started the season well. Blythe managing to just, with his back to goal at the edge of the box, and he strikes left-footed from the edge of the box, tried to emulate Craig Mann, and just floated over the far post for the keeper. The keeper was momentarily worried. I think that will probably be the last action of the half as the referee checks his whistle before Renshaw does take this goal kick.
To still be wearing that armband, winning the player of the season.
First half as well, man. I think some of his switches, especially in the first opening half of the half, have been really, really good.
Back underway from Renshaw. Referee does allow it to go on just a little bit longer. Haven is going to have to deal with this. It does go back to Sykes Kenworthy, and there is the whistle at half time to call the break. Referee still fielding complaints from Lucas and Dunstan at the end of the first half. We do finish at half time. Curzon Ashton with the lead. Avenue 0, Curzon Ashton 1. It has been a half in which Avenue will be happy with most of their work. They grew into the half extremely well. They had 3 or 4 succession of corners. They actually had the ball in the back of the Curzon Ashton net. Ruled out by today's referee, once more giving Mark Bauer another reason to complain of the officials. But nonetheless, it is Bradford Park Avenue 0, Curzon Ashton 1. We will be back just before the start of the second half with the half-time scores from the Conference North. We will see you in some 10 minutes or so. Yeah.
0-0 away against Wigan Athletic and Ballamallard.
A very warm welcome back live on YouTube. This is here at the Horsefall Stadium where Avenue once more do find themselves needing to dig themselves out of a hole in the second half as they trail Curzon Ashton 1-0. As promised, we do have some Conference League North updates at half-time. Blythe Spartans currently 0-0 at home with Banbury United. Boston United 1, Hereford 4 at half-time. 4-0 leaders, Hereford there. Boston pulling one back towards the end of the half. Brackley Town 0, AFC Fylde 0. Obviously, Avenue trailing 1-0 here at the Horsefall. Chester 0, Darlington 0, Gloucester 1. Our adversaries last weekend, Southport 2. Kidderminster 0, Farsley 1. Our neighbours in the lead there, which once more isn't particularly good for the Avenue. Kingsland Town 1, Chorley 0. Still riding high, Kingsland. Visitors to the Horsefall earlier in the season, a late 1-0, late goal, giving them a 1-0 win at the Horsefall. Leamington 1, Alfreton 0, another team that we have visited this season, going down 1-0 there also. Peterborough Sports 2, AFC Telford United 1, Scarborough Athletic 3, Kettering Town 0 at half-time, Spennymoor 0, Buxton 1. Is the final score currently in the Conference North. In the National League, we'll run through them quickly while we have a couple of moments before the start of the second half. Dagenham, Redbridge and Southend fought out a 1-1 draw on the box before the 3 o'clock kickoffs today. Altrincham 1, Dorking Wanderers 0. Dorking doing fairly well in their first stab at the Conference National. Bromley 0, Gateshead 0. Eastleigh 1, Chesterfield 0. Maidenhead United, Oldham 1. Maidstone United 0, Halifax Town 0. Scunthorpe 3, Aldershot 1. Wealdstone 0, Boreham Wood 0. Woking 1, Notts County 3. Wrexham 3, Barnet 2. Yeovil 0, Solihull Moors 0. York City 0, Torquay United 0.
It's almost like, kind of forget what side of football you're playing.
Both teams that have been pushed from downstairs to get back on the pitch, but as we stand, we currently don't see any movement. Sounds like there's a little bit coming now. Both sets of players do make their way out of the pavilion to look to get the start of this second half underway.
A line splitting defence.
Kids looking down below for some passing hand claps from the players. While Avenue may be the second team in the city, they still do have a committed fan base in this part of Bradford.
It looks like a smaller pitch. It looks like almost a thinner pitch as well, I think.
Pink and black numbers of Curzon Ashton making their way out. They will feel like they got away with one in the first half. Certainly the moment of optimism for Avenue as they did have the ball in the back of the net before Craig Mann smashed in a strike from some distance with his weak foot cutting inside.
I can't remember quite like the
Be interesting to see how Avenue approach the beginning of the second half as they do chase a goal. Avenue are a totally different team when behind to when they are either level or in front in a game. They have the confidence to stand up to mass onslaught when they have a goal lead in a game. Certainly that's what was displayed last season. However, when chasing, they don't quite have the spark from the midfield to accompany the strikers who I do believe can be a threat in front of goal. It'll be Curzon Ashton to get us back underway in the second half. And before they do, there's one final thing to say. Come on, the Avenue.
Right, okay, so I am as Curzon Ashton now
Barton gets us back underway for Curzon. Ashton gives it straight into Mann, who looks to once again swap the play from right to left into Hampson. Hampson goes down into the channel, flicked on to Hayhurst, and it's cleared away well by Fielding. Fielding back up against Hayhurst once more, and Fielding does get there first. It's blocked well by Hayhurst, but it breaks nicely for Dunstan. Dunstan with a poor ball. Thankfully for him, Richmond and Hopper managed to bail him out, and it now breaks for Staunton, who looks to carry the ball in towards the Curzon Ashton half. Into Hopper. Hopper, left-footed, plays it out towards the debutant Angel. Blythe plays it into Angel once more, who brings it down and gives it into Staunton. Staunton into Blythe. Poor first touch from the number 9 allows Curzon Ashton to clear. It's bounced, and Haven does get there to just flick the header away into Richmond. And Richmond with a 1-2 with Blythe, who did have a good first half. Poor ball by Richmond, trying to get Angel in down the left-hand side. Under pressure from Church, does really well, and Mann switches a play once again effortlessly to the left-hand side. Here's Hampson. Hampson for Curzon Ashton. Look, gets his head up and plays it into Hancock. Hancock left-footed into across the 6-yard box, and it's skewed away by Reece Staunton. Oh, it's poor by the midfielders as they tackle each other, Richmond and Hopper. And it's played into Mann once more, who does a step over, takes it onto his right foot. Into the winger here, Hall. And Hall, under pressure from Staunton, eventually manages to get a clearance away in towards Eddie Church, who puts Posca under pressure. Posca now just with some calm possession for the away side, in between him and Renshaw in the Curzon goal. The National League North table. Left-footed, strikes the ball away in towards the striker Fielding with his hands in the back, silly, and it goes over his head and into Hayhurst, and hit blocked really well by a Dunstan and out for a corner. It was one of them moments where the stretch and then the ball striking a Dunstan ended up seeing him go down in a bit of a pile, unfortunately. It isn't a Dunstan, it's actually Jamie Spencer. Jamie Spencer eventually picks himself up. The hard man in midfield will only be kept down if it is absolutely necessary. He delivered left-footed from Hayhurst. It's drilled in and it's headed! And it's a great save by Sykes Kenworthy. Diving to his left. Fingertip save away and cleared away out for a Curzon throw-in. Big header by Posca at the back. He almost had his first. It looks as if the referee may have given a free kick, I think. Wouldn't have counted had it have gone in, but that being said, it's irrelevant on how good the save was. Avenue just not getting the passes accurate so far, and Curzon looking like they've got a little bit more of a spring in the step in the first couple of minutes. It's a great flick there by Church, and Angel putting Matthews and the keeper under pressure and out for a throw-in for Avenue. Just before the edge of the 18-yard box that Bradford Park Avenue are attacking. As we're coming up to Angel will get us back underway here on the left, throwing into Richmond. Angel will shank the ball into the box, and it is out aimlessly, unfortunately, for a Curzon throw-in. Curzon goal kick, sorry. This time not getting blinded by the sun. It's just been covered up by a little bit of cloud cover that's come onto the left-hand side. Fans in the stand opposite are hopeful of seeing just a goal. Would be nice. Being a 4G and all-weather pitch, I think that's the last of everybody's worries out there. Yeah, he's behind the goal as ever in non-league football, not giving the away keeper the ball back quickly. However, we are losing, so please can we not have any more of that for the rest of the second half? Thank you. Back underway and straight out of play by Renshaw for an Avenue throw-in, pretty much bang on halfway. It will be Fielding who takes this. It's going to go long. Play it into Church. Church takes it down well, but it skews through the legs of Hampson. Haven underneath the clearance for Avenue. Hopper carries on the flick on, and it'll be Posca to carry on. Matthews, sorry, to head away for Curzon Ashton. Man gets underneath and plays it into the channel pretty aimlessly and goes out for a throw in for Staunton to take on the far side, halfway inside the Avenue half.
Manchester City are 3 goals up now. Riyad Mahrez with the goal there. So at the moment, the standard is actually 50
Back
minutes.
underway. Church looks to get ball under control and it's bobbling about in the midfield. Both teams looking to win possession. This got all the way through to Sykes Kenworthy, and it does. Sykes Kenworthy rolls the ball out to Spencer, who takes it comfortably, gives it into Fielding. Fielding just manages to get the pass down into the channel to a Dunstan. Dunstan looks to carry to halfway, cuts back inside. He's got very little options, goes back to Fielding. Fielding takes a touch, gets his head up, looks to switch the play in towards the channel. Church gets it up. It's dropped now for Hopper. Hopper defends the ball well. He's certainly shoved in the back by Damau, and he is. It'll be a free kick for Avenue. Some 25 yards out. It's not really positioned to strike. Probably a soft one. However, we'll take it given the ruled out goal from in the first half.
It's really, really difficult as well, isn't it? Because we've been told throughout this season, especially top down.
But once more, Fielding and Staunton to stand over the free kick for Avenue. It's not really from a position that you can strike unless you are an absolute dead ball specialist. Two-man wall for Curzon just to block off that entry, but it is one that you'd put across the face of the keeper. It'll be Staunton, left-footed, and he does strike. He went for goal, a yard and a half maybe, just over the bar. Not a bad strike from the centre-back.
On the near post to our side of the
Renshaw did scamper across his goal quickly just to make sure that it was covered.
So I think it was a little bit further.
Good effort.
Win, but yeah, I think Renshaw was rude. I don't think he was getting anywhere near it. So bit of a let off there.
6 minutes into the second half, still Avenue 0, Curzon Ashton 1. Renshaw with his clearance back towards the Avenue half. It's dealt with well by Haven. Ball bouncing around in the midfield momentarily, and it's Hopper who flicks on towards Blythe. Certainly shoving the back from Hampson, but nothing given by the referee once more. Hall flicks it away from Angel, who gives it into Mann. Mann takes a touch and looks into the channel once more where Hall was going. It's going to break for Hancock, and he chips it in towards the 6-yard box. It's dealt with well by Staunton. Ex-Football League defender Inri Staunton did make an impression at Bradford. It was a surprise to some that they were happy to see him go on a permanent basis down to Conference North football with the Avenue. I think Reece Staunton certainly sees himself as being above this level. Hopefully his performances can see Avenue carry some results and performances to carry the team further up the table. Fielding will get us back underway here with the throw-in on the near side. Fielding looked to strike the ball against Hancock and back out for another throw-in. It's broken for Piers. And once more, Curzon Ashton in possession. The start of this half has certainly favoured the away side more than the home side. Hall away from Staunton. Goes back inside to Mann. Mann inside, and it's dealt with well by Spencer. Very good football by Avenue. Spencer now carries the ball across halfway. He's driving in towards the edge of the Curzon Ashton box. It's certainly a foul against Spencer. And once more, frustration from the Avenue midfielder as his attack is halted with a professional foul.
Comes to mind in there, as I wanted to touch briefly on Ivan Toney, a player that I think, in my opinion, or from my book, Jamie, and I don't know whether you have any opinions on this, needs to be on the plane.
Who's this, sorry?
Ivan Toney.
Oh, definitely.
I personally, I mean, this is just my...
Once more, we'll be Fielding and Staunton to stand over this free kick. This is some now 35 yards out, I would say. This is a long way for either of these boys to strike it, but it looks like Fielding is actually lining this up. And he does, and it's some 10 yards over the bar. Fielding complains with Jamie Spencer as they get in a bit of a debate with each other. It's a silly effort from Fielding. It looked as if he looked across to the dugout to make sure he was okay to give it a strike. In all honesty, unless you absolutely strike that perfectly, it's just not gonna trouble any keeper really.
This is just because It's not even because of
back underway, and once more Man takes the ball down for Curzon Ashton, plays it into the channel. Staunton looked to bring the ball down, but he's given the possession straight back to the opposing defender. Man switches the ball left-footed from the right-hand side towards Hampson. Hampson into Barton. Barton back to Hampson for Curzon Ashton. Hampton cuts inside and gives it into Piers. Piers looked to turn away, and it was a foul on Hampson. Referee looked to play advantage, but nothing given on this occasion. So he brings a player back quickly. Hampson making a bit of a meal of it, rolling around now, just giving his team a couple of minutes just to kill the game, just to kill the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was just because the angle.
Hampson fades to give it towards Hayhurst and instead chips it into the channel. Fielding left with no option but to deal with it, and he does get it away well. Church takes the ball down well, gives it to Hopper. Hopper into Spencer. Spencer clears into Blythe. Blythe looks to flick onto Church, and unfortunately it doesn't break for the Avenue substitution, who was forced into the field of play after only a couple of minutes with Brad Doherty's untimely injury. Looked to be semi-serious. Anything hamstring related always tends to be a little bit of a concern. Once more, Hopper frustrated with the referee's decision. I don't think that that's a foul, and the player Hayhurst for Curzon Ashton kind of went down on the ball, and it left the referee no option but to do something, as the ball was stuck in play really, with neither team able to get the ball out of the legs. Attack down the right hand side by Hall, comes back off Staunton and out for another corner for Curzon Ashton.
Side of the ground, and as Reese can say there, as it stands with the results live, Curzon Ashton are in the playoff spots of the National League North. I think we need
Curzon just about to take the corner on the far side, left-footed in towards the back post, and it goes all the way. Thankfully for Avenue, it's kept alive and played back in. It's headed away by Haven. It's going to be struck by Hampson. Comfortable save for Sykes Kenworthy. Man is there to pick up the loose ball here. Angel in battle with the experienced man. The debutant against the extremely experienced Craig Mann there on that side. Played into the channel here for Church. Church is going to get there first. Church against Matthews. Church has had his beating for pace in the half. To the edge of the box to Richmond. Spencer plays it in across the 6-yard box, and it's defended well by Matthews. It's played well now, but it's back into Avenue possession with a Dunstan. A Dunstan into Church. Church switches it to his left foot in towards the back post, and it's headed away well by Mann. And now it has broken well for Hancock. Hancock, it's dealt with well by Sam Fielding. Fantastic defending by the ex-York City man. Fielding carries it forward for Avenue. Fielding cuts back onto his right foot and gives it out wide to a Dunstan. A Dunstan with a bit of spin. Into the box. Church! It's a yard over the bar. Bauer and Boschel both claiming a corner. I don't think it actually was. Over the bar by only a yard by Eddie Church. But again, a close moment for Avenue and showing a threat. Fantastic work by Sam Fielding, who carried the ball out after he made a tackle that he had to make to keep possession for Avenue, as they were 3 against 2 were Curzon Ashton. Played to the right hand side of Dunstan, squared it back for Eddie Church, who struck first time from the edge of the box in towards the far top corner, just a yard or so over the bar.
I think the stanchions a little bit that sits in the back, but it's in the
Curzon Ashton currently holding on to, in the live table, a playoff position here today. So much at stake for both teams. Avenue desperate to try and dig themselves out of the problem that they've put themselves in early on in this season. They do not need to get cut adrift. There comes a point where you're starting to think, is there a way back? And really, we may find ourselves in that position sooner rather than later if we still can't pick up any points. Keeper under pressure here from Blythe. Wanted it back on his left foot, couldn't get it on his left foot. Good pressure by the Avenue number 9. He's had a good game today as Jacob Blythe. Certainly looks fitter than he did earlier on in the season. Man under pressure from Church, and he's pushed over and out for, he's going to be a free kick. We are going to see a substitution for the away side.
is the man that is going to come off and is going to be the end of the afternoon.
George wearing the number 12 for the away side.
No fourth brace.
It'll be Tom Pears.
From a striker who has been
Thomas Pears, who comes off for Curzon Ashton. So it looks like it's going to be a like-for-like change. The Curzon Ashton number 9, who has been on a hot streak of goals.
I think it's a great change for Curzon Ashton. Honestly, I think Waring, when he came on the other night against Scarborough in the replay, he's absolutely excellent.
Waring does come on. Is this a double substitution
Very
for
presence, eases his body well. He's good in the air. He can hold up
the away
ball.
side?
I think in a game like this, when you're 1-0 up,
It is a double substitution for the away side. It will also be Joshua Hancock, who has taken up a position just behind the number 9 so far, that gets replaced by Samuel Walker, the number 8.
Well, he's not the only man to come off.
Potentially a slightly more defensive change, as Walker will be more than likely to drop into more of a centre midfield position.
This little afternoon has the number 10.
Looks like Demau is now going to take up a spot a little bit further on the pitch. Man with the free kick to get us back underway from the right hand side in towards Waring. His first moments of the game. Big striker is the number 12. Some 6'4". Be a different proposition for the strikers to deal with. Blythe putting Matthews under pressure. Matthews did go down holding his hamstring under pressure as he cleared the ball, and he did look to be in some pain instantly. Certainly no foul by the Avenue number 9, but it looked like a potential hamstring twinge.
This is a worry.
Just going to have a brief break in play.
A fantastic fixture in at centre back alongside Marcus Poscar. The two have formed a fantastic partnership.
Into the last half an hour here at the Horsefall Stadium.
Part of the goal framework, which holds the upper rear part of the net, and
We still find ourselves trailing. Bradford Park Avenue 0, Curzon Ashton 1.
yeah, like holding the net up.
Yeah. As Darlington in the lead as well, away from home against Chester.
Matthews is pulled up. He does look in a lot of discomfort.
Matthews
Momentarily, I believe Curzon Ashton will be down to 10 men here, as he does have to come off the pitch to receive treatment.
He is not walking, he's hobbling.
I
Can't imagine there'll be any world in which the centre-back will be able to continue.
Especially with a massive
Avenue will get us back underway here, and it's played into Fielding. Fielding will look to deliver from deep. It's in towards Church, and Man collide. Church is straight up, but Craig Man has stayed down.
Inadvertent, absolutely.
Two players just come together as they both were looking to get to the ball first. Ollie Johnson just finishing what looks like a warm-up on this near side here as we potentially head towards an Avenue substitution. It will be the first that they planned. It will be the second of the game after the early injury to Brad Doherty. The injury to Devon Matthews will conclude his game, and he will be replaced by Jordan Richards. This could be an interesting change for Curzon Ashton. It looks like Richards is going to go to right back, and Craig Mann is going to go further up the pitch and play in behind the front man. It looks like Craig Mann is going to actually take up the position at attacking midfield now. More natural for Craig Mann. Barton is going to slot in at centre back for Curzon Ashton, which is probably his more natural position. Certainly last season for Farsley. Richards will take up his natural position at right back. Game just a little disjointed currently, as both teams look to assert themselves and get a bit of dominance. Avenue looking for a way back into the game. And substitutions and injuries just disjointing the game ever so slightly, which probably will benefit the away side a little bit more as they look to eke the game towards full time and keep hold of this slender lead.
And
We are back underway now. It's played into the channel towards Church. Church is going to put Barton under pressure. And Church does get there first, and that's a corner, surely, for Avenue. It is. Eddie Church doing extremely well up against his experienced defender in Adam Barton and wins a corner. Ollie Johnson is now stripped and ready to come on. It probably be left until after this corner. It'll be interesting to see who Ollie Johnson comes on for here, because Jacob Blythe has had a fantastic game.
Erling Haaland has scored.
And it is into Hopper. It's played short. I wouldn't have played it short myself. However, it is now out to Dunstan, and Dunstan gives it back to Staunton, who delivers. The back post! Oh, and it's Jacob Blythe, who heads down into the ground, and it comes back off of the defender and out for another corner. Come on, the Avenue. Avenue certainly have got reasons for optimism. It's probably been the best home performance of the season so far. They've created chances, and just so far they've not been able to get the ball in the back of the net for a legal goal in the eyes of the referee after the goal was disallowed in the first half. It'll be Fielding who gets the corner this time from the far side, right-footed in swinger in towards the 6-yard box. Shanked away by Hayhurst and out for another corner. Avenue desperate to keep the play back underway, get another ball quickly into Sam Fielding to deliver another corner. The deliveries have been very good so far today. Fielding delivers right-footed into the 6-yard box. Blythe! And it's headed down. And again, it's Renshaw who manages to get down and smother the ball. The power of the header unfortunately was lacking. The direction was perfect. Headed it down in towards the bottom corner. Just not enough power on this occasion. Renshaw gets us back underway. Spencer underneath the header on halfway. Nearly breaks for Hopper. And Curzon Ashton just able to take a little bit of possession now. They'll be hoping to take a little bit of sting out of Avenue. After the last, again, 10 minutes or so have been all for the home side. Blythe is looking to put the keeper under pressure, and he does. He's forced to clear quickly. Fielding flicks it back towards his own box, and it's cleared by Haven. There's certainly a foul on Hopper, nothing given. Actually, he's given a free kick to the away side. Curzon Ashton get the play back underway quickly, and it's dealt with well by Thornton. Here's Angel to carry the ball out for the debutant. Over halfway, inside to Hopper. Hopper gives it back out wide to Church. Church, left-footed, will cross, then straight out for a goal kick. Sorry. Took the cross on his unnaturally on his unnatural side, did Eddie Church, on his left foot, straight out for a goal kick. So Ollie Johnson now will make his way into play, and it will be Thomas Angel. It will be the debutant. So that was the debut over for the Sheffield United under-18s man. Interesting change by Mark Bauer to bring a far more attacking player on. May have just found himself struggling for fitness over the hour mark. Johnson will go over to the left side of the pitch, which is where he's most natural, leaving Church and Blythe still up front. It looks like Staunton's going to take up the position at left back, leaving Haven and Fielding. The ball now has broken from Mann. Mann kicks it inside towards a substitute, Waring, but it breaks for Sykes Kenworthy. Mann will be a threat in behind the big man up there as he looks to pick his intelligent passes. Staunton just drags it back and cuts back onto his left side and gives it into Fielding. Avenue now looking to build up a head of steam once more. Fielding in towards Church, but it's Barton who gets there first. Danny Bosch in tackle with Hampson. I don't really think Danny Boschel can get involved, but he wants to get the play back underway quickly. Fielding now on halfway, gives it into Haven. Haven gives it out to the left where Staunton will pick his head up and look to deliver. Oh, he gives it poorly straight into Mann. And Mann out wide to Hall. Bradford Park Avenue caught with men over here. Hall does deliver. And Waring plays it straight out of play. Sykes Kenworthy and the substitute Waring almost met head on, and Waring played it out for a goal kick, thankfully for Avenue. They get away with one there. Staunton very sloppy with the pass, tried to drive it a little bit nonchalantly into a midfield compatriot. Didn't quite get there, and it was broken up well by the experienced Craig Mann. Left Avenue really exposed. What Avenue can't deal with here is going a further goal behind. You'd have to believe that Curzon Ashton would have enough to see the game out from 2 goals in front. While it's only 1, it is something that Avenue can still hold on to. Simon Richmond tells the man in Hayhurst here to get up, that nothing actually happened. There definitely was contact, there definitely was a noise that allowed Hayhurst to claim a free kick. The referee gave it. I don't think there was any grievance from Simon Richmond in the fact that a free kick was given. I think it was the reaction from Hayhurst he didn't like.
Well, he does, the Silver Stars, and I think it's a really good initiative. As the ball sent forward inside the 18
Curzon Ashton gets back underway and played it straight into the channel. The Dunstan does extremely well to defend that for Avenue. Eventually managed to get the ball away.
And it's easily settled back there for
Curzon now on the attack down the right hand side. It's Demau who plays it into Hall. Hall right footed. It's defended really well by Staunton and out for a corner on the far side by the clubhouse. Into the final 20 minutes here at Horsfall Stadium. Still Avenue 0, Curzon Ashton 1.
Yeah, and the first half it was all. I wouldn't say it was all Bradford Park Avenue, but I definitely said they would have gone in half-time the better team and probably the team was
Curzon have dealt with the Avenue threats much better in the second half.
Yes, Bradford Park Avenue have had their moments.
It's delivered here, left-footed in towards the back post. Sykes Kenworth can't get there, he was stretching. Dunstan just stopped it, going out for another corner and out for a throw-in for Curzon on this near side. He's in one of the blind spots again. I'm just going to have to go off intuition on who is taking this. It's probably going to be Hampson down this side. It will be Hampson. Delivers the throw-in into Mann. Mann takes a touch and just goes back towards his own goal. Checks back on his left foot. Mann again goes back towards his own goal and gives it into Demau. Demau into Hall. Hall looks over his shoulder and he knows he's got a man coming at him in Staunton. Goes back to Richards, the substitute, into Waring. Waring does well to bring the ball down and give it into Mann once more. Ashton just looking to pop the ball about a little bit more now. Hampson into Hayhurst. Hayhurst on his left foot, defended well by a Dunstan. Spencer and Hopper both putting the Curzon Ashton players under pressure. Dunstan does well and managed to win the possession back for Avenue. Into Fielding. Fielding takes a touch and looks to go long quickly in towards Church. Church takes the ball down well. He's dragged down by Barton. The linesman does give it. The referee wasn't going to give it, but Barton had hold of Eddie Church's arm. And this will give Avenue an opportunity to deliver from some 35-40 yards out, just slightly on the right-hand side. Pretty much halfway inside the Curzon half. It's going to be Staunton to deliver.
Alfreton Town now in the lead against Leamington.
Reen Staunton does deliver left footed curl in swinger. And it's all the way across on the keeper. Renshaw knew absolutely nothing about it as the ball hits.
That ball to the back post is
it hits him. I think again it was Jacob Blythe. Fantastic delivery from Reece Staunton. And again, Avenue just not getting that look. The ball broke. It was loose. Pretty much bang on the 6-yard line. Nobody was following it up. Nothing to fall for Avenue. Still, Avenue 0, Ashton. Curzon Ashton 1. Another throw in for Avenue on the far side. Pretty much horizontal with the edge of the Curzon Ashton box.
Has been shown in the Leamington game. It is to Leamington.
Reece Staunton out to deliver. Does it blind and it flicks away from Eddie Church. It'll be Richmond who picks up the loose ball. He's got a Dunstan giving him options close. And he's actually gone out for a throw and he's going to leave it to a Dunstan.
He looked like he was going to just take a quick throw in. Instead, he's going to leave it off for a Dunstan.
Once more, it will be a game that slips away if Avenue don't find a goal where Avenue will feel like they deserve something from the game. Adam Barton heads the ball away towards Ashton. It's broken for Johnson and Richmond. Saved well by
Good save.
Renshaw
by
once
Renshaw yet
more.
again to his
Church
left-hand
puts
side.
him under
Well
pressure.
done
He's
to
worked the ball out
Still
well.
the ball
Church
wide.
gets out for
It's
another
wide there.
corner for
What
Avenue. Avenue piling on the pressure, and
Really
Curzon
feel
Ashton
like this
really do
is
look like they're
the
struggling to
game
keep
win.
the home side out
there's
as
gonna
it
be a
stands.
tough final 15-20 minutes.
As it goes into the final 15 minutes
Look
plus
at the
injury
front,
time,
it goes-
Avenue desperately trying to find that goal to get themselves back into this game and take something from the game. It's whipped in well, and Renshaw punches away well. Headed further away, and it's Dunstan who will loft the ball back in. Headed back in by Hopper. Cleared away by Barton. And it's Hall that is going to put Dunstan under pressure here. Hall does keep the ball in. Dunstan does well. Dunstan does extremely well in defending against Hall. It's played back in towards Blythe, and it is offside. Blythe does get there first. Blythe complains that he's onside, however, he missed anyway.
There was daylight between him and Renshaw, who was
More frustration for Avenue as another sustained set of attacks doesn't result in a goal.
Miles off.
It's only so long you can go without tasting victory
just stopped
before the pressure really ramps up, and that is where we are at for the Avenue.
Being offside,
Cannot be so certain, yeah.
can't do that, especially when
We
you
are
don't have
definitely
someone
into the
VAR
last 15 minutes here.
to
Yeah.
At the Horsfall Stadium.
For some reason,
It's headed well. It's headed back well by Richmond, and Sykes Kenworthy will loft it up and high over the halfway line. Spencer takes it down well and plays it in towards Richmond. Richmond puts Posca under pressure. I think Eddie Church has had a fantastic game since coming on. Blythe and Barton in battle. Blythe does extremely well. The two men up front have done well for Avenue today, it has to be said. Back to Dunstan. Dunstan into Hopper. Skips away from his man Hampson. Out for a throw in for Avenue. Come on, the Avenue! Dunstan plays it in towards Blythe. It goes towards the edge of the box where Spencer is in challenge, and it does give Curzon Ashton a moment to breathe as they win a free kick on the edge of their own box.
Matthews right in front of us is coming into the change rooms below us. He is walking and moving pretty alright off his own.
It's hard to not find moments of frustration. Certainly today, out of all of the home fixtures, Avenue have played well, and they've certainly, in my opinion, been the better of the two teams over the sustained 75 minutes of the game.
Well, realistically,
Back underway from Renshaw and out off the back of a Dunstan for a throw-in on the near side, halfway inside the Avenue half.
Creative player, or even number 10, maybe even sliding into them.
You wouldn't know that there currently is some 10 points between the two teams here today. Curzon are going to find themselves in the playoffs if they manage to stay in front here. Demauer plays away from two, done well, gives it out to Hayhurst. Hayhurst goes through the legs of a Dunstan, and a Dunstan certainly gives away a foul, but the referee blows play on, and Man carries on into Hayhurst. Hayhurst tries to cross it into the 6-yard box. I have no idea how that hasn't gone in. He's defended well by Fielding, and eventually it was cleared out for a Curzon Ashton throwing it on the halfway line.
Massive opportunity for Curzon.
Avenue living dangerous. As said moments ago, it will be extremely difficult for Avenue to find their way back into the game at this stage if they find themselves 2 down here at the Horsefall.
In the 6-yard box at tight angle, you probably don't expect him to shoot. I think
Curzon gets us back underway. It's flicked on by Waring. It's broken now for Hall. Hall goes all the way back to another substitute in Richards. Richards into Demau. Demau inside to Hayhurst. Hayhurst gives it out to Hall. Hall, right-footed, has to go back. He's forced back all the way to Richards once more, who delivers from deep, and Sykes Kenworthy is going to come a long way to claim possession. Sykes Kenworthy gets us back underway really quickly towards Blythe. And Barton flicks it down, and it's actually broken really well for Richmond. Richmond left-footed, gives it to Ollie Johnson, his first real moments to get into the game. Johnson goes onto his left foot, does a little step over and just takes him away from too many. Does play the ball, and it's taken well by Renshaw. Delivery just too close to the Curzon Ashton number 1. Avenue just readying another substitution. Will be the third of the day. It will be Will Longbottom, the ex-Farsley Celtic man. has made his way onto the pitch most of the time this season from the bench. It will be Will Longbottom now, as we do have a breaking play for an Avenue throw-in. It'll be Jamie Spencer who makes way. Jamie Spencer once again really has put himself about. He certainly can't be upset with his performance. It'd be interesting to see how Avenue now line up with that change, as Longbottom certainly isn't a centre midfielder. Blythe does get the flick on. Church might get there first, he doesn't. He's played away by Posca. Waring takes the ball down well. He's pushing the back by Haven, but nothing given, and it is going to break for the substitute in Samuel Walker. The referee keeps his card in his pocket. It was very late on the substitute.
He's elected to keep them in the pocket the whole game as well there, Dean Watson, I think probably to his detriment.
Walker, who
in terms of trying
gets to his feet and takes the free kick pretty much bang on halfway for the away side, left-footed. He looks to switch the play in towards Waring. Waring does get his body in front of his defender. Referee gives a free kick against handball. I'm not really sure about that one. It looked like he brought it down in the armpit.
Definitely a couple of warnings, but...
However, Sykes Kenworthy will take the free kick and get us back underway.
The former side as well.
Goes from left to right, goes a long way, and it is going to be in towards Blythe. Blythe takes the ball down, but it's a poor first touch, and it allows the ball to break. He does win the ball back off of Dunstan, though, which is good for Avenue. Into Church. Church, with a Cruyff turn, does extremely well. Takes it away from his man Hopper. Into Longbottom. On the right foot, cuts in on his left foot. Longbottom. Gives it out to Dunstan on the right-hand side, pretty much on the throwing line. Back into Longbottom. Longbottom falls all the way back to Fielding, who has now taken up the position again at centre-back. Richmond into Longbottom. Longbottom cuts in on his left foot. They're looking for a way through, and he is going to switch it. His Longbottom. It's a fantastic ball across to Staunton. Staunton takes a touch, drives towards the edge of the box on his left foot. Staunton still can't find that opening to get the ball in. Johnson cuts on his right foot, goes back out to the left to Staunton. Staunton looking to deliver now. He's going to deliver on his right foot. Right foot into the back ball. It's the Avenue found the way back into the game. I believe it was.
I spoke about that ball.
I believe it was actually Longbottom who has just made his way onto the pitch.
It's a very good run.
It was a fantastic cross by Reece Staunton in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Just before it goes out of play, Blythe heads it back across the 6-yard box. There's a bit of a melee, and I believe it was Longbottom who got on the last. It got the last touch to take it into the goal, and it is Avenue 1, Curzon Ashton 1, and it has been coming for the home side. Interesting. Last 10 minutes here at the Horsefall. Straight, Curzon straight on the attack. Edge of the 6-yard ball. Waring, unbelievably, for Curzon Ashton, puts it straight in the hands of Sykes Kenworthy. Holded fantastically well down the right hand side for Curzon Ashton. Got in behind the Avenue defence. Cut the ball back from the byline in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. And Waring, the substitute, had an opportunity to make himself a hero and played it straight into the hands of Sykes Kenworthy.
Barton now, I think
Avenue 1. Curzon Ashton 1.
Wow, I think from when he
Unseen by us up here on the commentary bank, Jacob Blythe had taken a knock and had actually not come back onto the pitch. It looks like he's struggling, the big number 9. Maybe a rolled ankle. That must have happened in assisting the goal. He will take one for the team to find his way back into this game. Can Avenue now find a winner in the last 10 minutes here at the Horsefall? Curzon will be desperate to find their way back into the lead. However, it certainly has been the least Avenue deserve. Avenue get back underway here, and it's played into the bank. Longbottom should get there ahead of Posca. He does. He unfortunately just is left with no option but to put it out for a throw-in. Puts Curzon Ashton in a position of pressure, however, deep into the Curzon half.
6.5 minutes plus stoppage left to go for Curzon Ashton to find themselves a winner in this one.
Yeah, I think.
Come on, the Avenue.
I think
the scenes that we'll be seeing here at the Horsefall, if Avenue can find the goal that gives them their first win of the season, the first points at home this season.
ninth, bottom of the table.
Richards gets us back underway, and it's Johnson under the header. Plays it straight back from where it came from, towards the edge of the Curzon box. Bricks now for Dunstan on the right-hand side. He's got support with him. He gives it back to Fielding. Fielding will go from right to left in towards the edge of the box. Blythe will flick it on. Johnson! To the avenue! It's Ollie Johnston who picks up on the flick on from Jacob Blythe, and he places it perfectly in between the goalkeeper's legs and into the back of the net. Bradford Park Avenue 2, Curzon Ashton 1. It is the least the home side deserve in this second half. They have not stopped going, they have not stopped working, and they have found opportunities. And they do find the second goal of the game in this last 10 minutes. Bradford Park Avenue 2, Curzon Ashton 1.
You can't blame the defender, you can't blame the keeper. It's a very good ball in the box, a very good touch and a very good finishing.
The question now for Avenue is, can they hold this for the last 5 minutes? We are in the last 5 minutes here at the Horsefall Stadium.
Well, it's been a 5 minutes of football to forget for Curzon.
They will certainly be feeling the pressure in this last 5 minutes as Curzon Ashton look to seek out a goal in the last few minutes.
Second defeat in 12.
Curzon Ashton undefeated in the last 4. They certainly won't have come to Bradford today expecting a defeat against the team that are rock bottom of the division. No wins all season. No points at home all season. Lucas Dunstan gets there first ahead of the clearance from Barton. Curzon Ashton now all of a sudden desperate all of a sudden to get the game back underway at every opportunity. Hampson to take the throw in for Curzon Ashton. This is going to be some last 5 minutes here, folks, at the Horsefall. Dunstan gets under the throw-in. It's the Mao. Plays it into Longbottom, who has made a difference since coming in. Throws himself into the challenge. Go on, Will Longbottom. Played into the channel by Hopper. Blythe puts the keeper under pressure, and it's shanked up in the air. Can an Avenue body get underneath it? Hampson chests it down well and gives it to Barton. It's broken for Church, who keeps possession well, and Avenue are going ahead looking for another goal here. Hopper gives it back to Dunstan. Dunstan into Hopper. Hopper looks to play it into the channel. Nobody's running into that channel on this occasion. It will go all the way out for a Curzon Ashton goal kick.
Curzon Ashton. We've still got 3.5 plus stoppage.
3.5 minutes plus stoppage time. All of a sudden, the clock seems to be going extra slow here at the Horsefall. Come on, the Avenue. We need to hold on to this in these last few minutes. Waring gets under the head. It's dealt with well by Haven. Haven's caught, certainly, by Hall. And Haven will take a moment now to just eke out a few moments as he's down on the ground. Luca Haven is saying that he does need some treatment. Actually, no, he doesn't. Change of mind. The physio goes back. The referee can't quite decide what they want to do here. I think it's just a bit of cramp that Gianluca Haven is experiencing. The referee has forced the physio onto the pitch. Richmond was seeing out the cramp, but now the physio is on. Haven may as well stay down a little bit longer just to see if they can eke out a few moments of the end of this game. It has to be said, folks, that the hospitality room has been difficult so far this season. Defeat after defeat. This evening, as it stands, I am looking forward to getting some food with the boys.
It's an own goal, but we are also having an attack.
2 minutes plus injury time.
You have
the luck runs out. The luck's going to run out sometime. The honeymoon period is over.
It has to be said, it's been nothing short of what Avenue have deserved today.
Off the ground now, he is doing so again of his own accord.
I'm jigging here, folks. I'm just desperate to see the Avenue get over the line and take the 3 points, as they can look to start to build for the season. Sykes Kenworthy will get us back underway some halfway inside the Avenue half. He goes right to left, he switches to play well in towards Johnson and Blythe. Blythe takes it down really well once more, but it does break for Curzon Ashton. Blythe sticks a foot in there, he's going to get a yellow card here. We're going to see the first booking of the day. Jacob Blythe certainly can't complain with that one.
Jordan Richards It is Blythe that is going to see
The referee,
yellow
Dean
on the
Watson,
8th.
overall has had an okay game today. It'd be interesting to see the ruled out chance from the first half back to see whether he made that one right or not.
Yeah, definitely.
Renshaw gets us back underway for Curzon. Ashton goes long, but it's and another free kick's going to be given here against Luke Haven. This is a really silly position to give away a free kick. The ball was dropping short. Hopper was going to win the header. Luke Haven has pulled Waring back to stop him getting towards it, and it's in a position of danger here for Curzon Ashton. Some 5 or 10 yards out on the far hand side. It's at a funny angle to strike, but if you get it right from this kind of position, you're going to be happy with this direction of free kick.
Bend it like Beckham in the free kick. You've got a free kick in the team.
Well, you've got a few players that can hit one from a dead.
I'm surprised Man isn't over this, but it probably suits the left footer a little bit more. It will be struck left-footed. The wall is ready. Sykes Kenworthy is ready, and it's hit straight at the wall and out easily. Poor effort by Hall for Curzon Ashton. Sam Walker, actually, sorry, the substitute who managed to get there. It's 4 minutes of added time. We are in added time here at the Horsefall. It's lumped in long in towards Waring. It's headed well by Haven. Hayhurst gets there and gives it back to Richards. Richards will deliver from deep in towards Waring once more. Waring does head it down, and it doesn't quite break, and Longbottom's able to clear. This is pretty much going to be the last 4 minutes, folks. It's going to be like this. Richards will deliver again from the right, and it's dealt well by Staunton, and Hopper gets there first to clear all the way through to Walker, and it's just going to come back. Avenue have everybody back. Play down the line. It's a great put in. Fantastic tackle. And Mark Bauer goes ballistic as the referee gives another free kick against Staunton. The linesman doesn't give the free kick, the referee does. It's a fantastic tackle by Reed Staunton. The ball clearly goes the opposite direction. A free kick is given.
Yeah, I agree.
This will be
There was a lot of complaints from the Bradford Avenue players.
an absolute travesty if Curzon Ashton scored directly from this free kick, given the circumstances of that tackle. It will be delivered once more, probably on this occasion by either Mann or Walker.
You've nothing to lose at this point, so I keep going all over.
So here comes another free kick.
It will be Walker left-footed in towards the 6-yard box. Oh, that's Kenworthy momentarily lost it on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he managed to get hold of it at the second attempt. Some spicy moments there for the Avenue number 1. He just lost grip of it and managed to get hold of it at the second attempt. It goes long in towards Blythe. Blythe will be able to bring the ball down here and hopefully hold it in the corner. He's heading for the corner flag, not long to go. Out for an Avenue throw-in. Bradford Park Avenue 2, Curzon Ashton 1.
With just over 2 minutes.
2 minutes of added time to go.
When you don't have a centre forward like Tom Pearce, when you don't have a
Back in play on this near side in the blind spot. Out for another Avenue throw-in.
In the number 10 round, it's going to be.
If I haven't said it enough, Bradford Park Avenue 2, Curzon Ashton 1. Blythe looks to turn away from his man and he goes out for another Avenue throw-in.
Throwing for Bradford Park Avenue.
Eats away 30 seconds.
On the balance of play in the first half.
Into Blythe once more, down in the corner flag. He's looking to keep it there. It has broken. And it does go out for a goal kick for Curzon Ashton. Under pressure by Eddie Church. Renshaw will look to take it. He'll go long, left-footed. In towards Johnson. Johnson is under it. He wins the header. Richmond wins the follow-up. And Church wins the follow-up after that. It's shanked forward by Richards for Curzon Ashton. It's broken here for Hall. Hall has got some space to be able to deliver. He does deliver left-footed. It's headed away well by Dunstan. The Avenue boys need to get out. It breaks for Hampson. Hampson is under pressure from Longbottom. Longbottom gets there first. It's going to be delivered by Mann. Mann in towards the back post. And Sykes Kenworthy with fantastic goalkeeping for Avenue. Comes, claims the ball, keeps hold of it and jumps on top of the ball. Kills in just another few seconds for Avenue. 40 seconds to go for the home side to hold on for that much needed first win of the season. Sykes Kenworthy will go long. He'll play the ball as high as he possibly can. It's going to go straight out for a throw-in. Nobody's going to be giving that one back in a hurry.
The Manchester FA Cup tie against the reigning champions in Ashton Derby on Tuesday night.
Mark Bauer not happy with the reaction of Hansen, the left back for Curzon Ashton. Matt Bauer was trying to get the ball back, to be fair to the Avenue manager. Oh, the through! Curzon Ashton through! Oh, he's straight at Sykes Kenworthy! Oh my word! The ball broke extremely nicely for Curzon Ashton, went through 2 defenders, and thankfully for Avenue, the Curzon Ashton man played it straight at Sykes Kenworthy when it was actually easier to score. All he had to do was put it either side of the Avenue number 1. 15 seconds over the 4 minutes of added time. Sykes Kenworthy's thrown the ball down. He's got time to kill. He can play this out long. Referee still not with the whistle to his lips. Eddie Church should be able to get there first in score. He blasts the ball out. And the referee just put the whistle to his mouth and blow full time. Bradford Park Avenue 2. Curzon Ashton 1. Avenue find the first win of the season here at the Horsefall Stadium, at home, the first points of the season, at home, at the Horsefall Stadium. Avenue had to work for it. Curzon Ashton did go in front after a fantastic strike by Craig Mann in the first half, gave the away side an undeserved lead at half-time. Avenue did have the ball in the back of the net in the first half. They should have already been leading at that point, but the referee blew up for an infringement that he saw in the box. In the second half, mad scenes as Will Longbottom came off of the bench to make a real difference. He found the equaliser on the 75th minute, and it was followed up by the winning goal late on.
Ollie Johnson takes his goal brilliantly, and I think Bradford Park Avenue blocks it.
And Ollie Johnson off the bench, also 2 substitutes, making a huge difference. Sorry, I forgot who scored the second goal in the excitement. Ollie Johnson also off the bench, finding the second goal, putting it beautifully through the keeper's legs after some great work by Jacob Blythe. Each to a man, each to Mark Bauer and Danny Boschel, all deserve that result today. Massive 3 points, fantastic performance from the home side, and thank you so much for all on YouTube for joining us here today to see Avenue's first win of the season. Bradford Park Avenue 2, Curzon Ashton 1.